A little bit more now on the federal response to the coronavirus crisis and the economic crisis that has been created because of it. Republican Arkansas Congressman French Hill serves on the congressional committee overseeing the CARES Act, as well as President Trump's Opening Up America Again congressional group. Congressman, we appreciate it. We'll get to what's happening in Arkansas in a minute. They've taken sort of an unusual approach towards this, but on a bigger scale, you seem to have these two camps right now, which is that Democrats who just want to keep spending more and more money. Nancy Pelosi promising already a fourth bill and saying there's going to be more discussions and negotiations. And then Treasury Secretary Mnuchin this morning on Fox News Sunday saying, let's see how these $3 trillion do before we spend another couple trillion. Your thoughts?
Well, Leland, thanks for having me. Let me say that the Treasury Secretary has got the right approach in my view. Not only is it nearly $3 trillion in appropriated funding, Leland, but don't forget the Fed and the Treasury are leveraging the Exchange Stabilization Fund. And when you add that benefit, it's almost a $7 trillion injection in just a few weeks into the American economy. Yeah. Really, sure. 30% of GDP.
Yeah, you make a very good point in terms of the number of dollars that are being, quote, spent by the federal government in the $3 trillion range, and then the additional money by the Fed to buy up corporate bonds, right, et cetera, that saved the markets back in March. So where do you draw the line? Bill de Blasio, the mayor of New York, was talking about wanting $7+ billion to make New York whole. Is the federal government, meaning all the taxpayers, going to then just print more money to make everybody whole? How does that work?
Well, let's assess what we've done in education, in environment, in public works, in housing, and in hospital support, along with the direct $150 billion support. We're sending hundreds of millions, if not billions, to the large states across many categories to help them deal with the coronavirus. And as Treasury Secretary Mnuchin said, let's see the results over the next few weeks and see if there are any gaps. But what the federal Treasury is not designed for is filling the gap of profligate spending patterns in states that don't have a balanced budget, don't have a proper pension system. I think it's going to be very difficult to design a program that can handle that.
Yeah, there's been a number of folks, analysts up on Wall Street, are saying if you bail out everybody, then you're really not bailing out anybody because you're just printing so much money. Part of this and how much money is going to be required is obviously linked to how quickly things reopen. In Arkansas, right, you all, the governor there, did not shut down every business. There was not a shelter-in-place, stay-at-home order. He took some heat for that. As we look now forward at the states that are going to have some kind of reopening this week, that map is now expanding beyond those states that didn't just have the not have a stay-at-home order, but we can see Montana opening up a little bit, Idaho, Colorado's opening a number of businesses, Texas, as well as Florida, and we know that Georgia has already opened a number of their businesses, restaurants this coming week. What lessons can they take from Arkansas, sir?
Well, Governor Hutchinson has been very prudent, I think, in closing things that could potentially spread risk: schools, large venues, conventions, the personal services businesses, and it's paid off. We have about 3,000 active cases in Arkansas. We've had 49 deaths, which we lament. But that very balanced approach, I think, will make it easier for Arkansas to now reopen coming in May.
Real quick for you, because I know that you all are the home to Tyson as well as a huge amount of the American food and protein market. How worried are you about the food supply?
Well, I'm concerned, and I know Tyson Foods is concerned. Yeah. We have converted America from a 50% eating out group to eating in, and that's really disrupted our supply chain. We need to make sure we keep our employees healthy and safe and keep our supply chain functioning. Yeah,
we've got a segment on that coming up a little bit later. Garrett Tenney as well doing some reporting on that today. Congressman, we appreciate your time, sir.
You bet.
Stay safe down in Arkansas and enjoy some whole hard barbecue when they open up for me.
You bet. See you next time.
Yes, sir.